We're here getting crabby for Christmas. Well, today we're making crabs. It's not even summer here in Maryland. It's a big summer thing. We're making crabs. I'm going to turn these into ornaments. I'm going to do 2 of them, 2 different ways, so that you can, take a look at my version of a crab. And first, I've mixed 2 ounces of Promise 1 Hour Fast Cure. And the reason that I did 2 ounces, I don't think I need 2 ounces for this, but I did 2 ounces because it's the smallest amount that my smallest cup I have. I'm going to do this one in gold and pearls and a real girly look. This one is for a friend of mine who came to visit here at the end of summer, actually, and we had crab in every form and version that crab comes in. And because I live in the state of Maryland in the U.S., my friend lives in Texas. So, the Maryland blue crab is the thing that you do when you're here in Maryland. And then when her husband came, he came a few days later and we had to do it all over again. Oh, poor us. We're like, you'd like to have some crabs, wouldn't you? So it was so much fun. But anyway, what I'm going to do, her tree is in what she calls soft golds and silvers. And so that's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to make this sparkly and pretty and, something that'll go with her tree. So first off, I'm going to pour in the smaller legs. I'm going to pour just some clear. And then, now I am not the greatest at pouring little skinny things with a wide cup like this, but I'm going to make it work, daggone it, because I said so. Because then I'm going to decide if I want to actually do glitter in these legs. Don't know yet. But it will all come out in the wash. I am going to do... Did I just... No, I didn't see anything. Okay. I'm just going to be extra. Since this is going to be, all clears and things, I'm really trying to make sure there's nothing random floating around in there, because that wouldn't be a good thing. Okay, so now I'm not going to touch the resin, but I am going to take my one glove off, because I have this gigantic bag of pearls and they're all different sizes, and I'm going to pour them in this little plate here, because when I'm finished I'll just pour them back in the bag, the ones that I didn't use. So that'll be easy to do. But these are all kinds of sizes, and I'm gonna have to, yikes, I have to roll them around and decide on the ones I want to use. So this is just an easier way to do it a little bit quicker. The instructions on the Promise website say that the faster you mix, the faster it cures. That's not one thing you should know. Also, you have a significant amount of working time if it's going to be a straight pour type of thing. The 1 hour of the fast cure is not, how do I verbalize this? It'll be cured so that you can demold it. It is not cured to use it. It's going to be bendy. You still need a full 24 hours to where it's, cured that you can use it or do whatever you're going to do. But, so that's, one thing that you need to know. What? Oh, now see, what was I thinking about? Obviously nothing, but all right, let's just get that in there somehow. And I'm just going to pick the teeniest, tiniest. Okay, I can see this isn't gonna cooperate. Teeny tiny ones to get them all the way up in these legs. These are the legs, these are the claws. I think these might be flippers, because in a real crab, the ones on the back here, because they don't, in a real crab, those don't have pinchers on the back. So I'm pretty sure that those are maybe flippers, because they're not skinny like the legs. Anywho, for my friend, not only is it going to match her tree, but pearls are sort of significant to us, because last year when she visited, she showed up in some tennis shoes, some Chucks. And if you're from the US, you know what Chucks and pearls meant last year. And so I saw her and she was like, I was wondering if you could put some pearls on my Chucks. And I was like, okay, sure can do. Take off your shoes. And I pearled up her Chucks, and then I had to buy a pair. So that was something that, you know, now I'm dropping pearls all over my room here. But anyway, that's why I wanted to do a project with pearls. And actually, there's another creator named Tammy, and she is with Resin Me That. And if you've never checked her out, chances are you have. I mean, if you're watching me, she's a much bigger channel than me. But I really like some of the things she does. She will take, you know, a project and kind of really think about ways to make it, you know, a little different, a little off the beaten path. And I really like that. And last year she did the, this is the Into Resin crab mold, by the way. And she did the Into Resin mold. And now I'm doing it. Hers is really pretty. I'm doing it. I didn't know that Into Resin had a crab mold. That's what made me learn about it. And she put pearls in hers and in the legs. And, you know, even though mine's going to be different from hers, I just wanted to give her a shout out because I saw her do it and it was beautiful. So I thought this would be very, very appropriate to give to my friend. And she is, like I said, her channel is Resin Me, and the me is, it's resin and then M3 that. So like I said, I enjoy most of the projects that she does. She, you know, she's on, you know, she teaches things, and it's teaching resin, but it's also, you know, she'll do little tryouts of techniques and things to see, you know, how that'll work, and I enjoy that. So give her a try someday. Tomorrow. And let's see. I hope this pearl. Now, I want this to sit around, this other leftover resin over here. I want it to sit around a little bit, because the next step I'm going to do is do some glitter to pour in these, in the claws and in the back legs, or back flippers. I don't know what they call them. And so when I do that, I want it to be a little bit thicker, the resin to be a little bit thicker, because if you're new to resin, glitter sinks. It's heavier than resin, obviously. And it will, if you don't do something to it to prevent it from sinking, it'll all sink onto the front of the piece. And you know, there's a time when that's fine. There's a time when you go, well, that's what I wanted to happen, and that's a beautiful thing. I kind of want my resin to, I mean, my glitter to be in this, to be sort of suspended. So I am I'm going to do the, I want that if this is thicker, I'm hoping that my glitter will stay suspended. If it doesn't, it's not going to be the total end of the world, but that's what I had in my head. So I would like that if it happens. And we'll see. Trying to think of what else to tell you. This mold is really, really cool, I think. Being a Maryland girl. A lot of our pearls come from, our pearls, a lot of our crabs come from the Chesapeake Bay, and that's where a lot of us get them. Some places get them actually from Virginia. They're not, and frankly, other countries, depending on where you're buying your crabs from. But summertime is the time when everybody's, going to restaurants with friends, or even just having a crab feast at home. And you buy the steamed crabs, or you steam them yourself, and you just sit there all night talking and having fun and picking crabs. And it's just, it's a Maryland sort of cultural thing. So the body, this first layer in the body, I want to be just clear. So I think I'm going to actually pour some in there so that when I do pour the cloth, now you might not be able to see from the vantage point that the camera is, but the body sinks down a little bit lower than the claws and all the legs. There's maybe 1/8 of an inch that it's down, lower. So I think I'm going to do just a small, thin layer in here in the body first. Because what will happen, any of you who are new to resin or just haven't done this technique before, two things that resin does when it's curing: it heats up, and it all pulls to the center. So a lot during the curing process. So there are techniques like blooms and web effects and puddle pours and things, marbling, that you try to work with the attributes of resin to make the project do what you're hoping it will do. Of course, with all these theories, though, resin actually does do what it wants to do. That's the big saying, in resin. So in this, I want my glitter. this will be a little bit layered. I want the glitter that's going to be in these claws and whatever, flippers. I'm calling them flippers. I'm just going with that. And I'm going to, I want that to be floating, the glitter. I may put a little bit of the resin that has the glitter in the claws or in the legs as well, just so they kind of match. But the shell is going to have a clear, and then I'm going to do some gold leaf all mixed up for the layer of the body, for the and it'll be a little further back. You know, we will have a window of clear in there, so you'll see what I mean. But first, I want something that's going to be easier to pour. I'm going to put my resin in here because I love to use these little cups when I have teeny tiny little areas to pour, because that way I can make sure that you know, I can squeeze the cup and make it not as big for lack of a better, make the you know, the spout a little more accurate. And that's what I think I'm going to do. So I've got a spoon. Now I have this Fantasy Gold by Laura's Art Corner. And man alive, if you haven't checked out Laura's Art Corner, check out Laura's Art Corner. I've never met Laura. I've heard everybody under the sun talk about her and how amazing her glitters are. And I had never experienced it until a couple months ago. And man alive, this is not your mother's glitter. This is not your grandmother. Well, unless your grandmother does resin or knows Laura's Art Corner. This is special glitter. And I felt like when I saw this, now I've used this in all of the angels that I did their halos in this glitter, and it's just next level. So I'll give you an example. So this is called Fantasy Gold, okay? And it's on the small side. It's not a chunky glitter. There's sort of a medium and then a teeny tiny and a teenier than that, and then sort of a dust. It's a mix. But see how the gold is sort of it's not as yellow as other gold. Like this is yellow gold. And I love this tone. I mean, I love that too. It's got its place. But for this project, and also for my halos and my angels, I mean, come on. It's the next level. It's next level gorgeousness. And so I'm just gonna, let's stir it up and see how we did. Because I don't necessarily want it like screaming solid with glitter. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put more clear in there. I want it to be, you know, fun with glitter. And then that gold leaf in the middle will be sort of dazzling, I hope. Okay, get off my glove. Now what I'm going to do at this moment is see how thick it is and see if it settles, if it sinks. And there are times that you think it's not sinking, and then you walk back in the room and you go, okay, it all sank. But but okay, you know, like I said, glitter does what it wants to do. But see how I didn't make it thick with glitter. I made it, you know, just pretty with glitter. And I am going to let this just sit aside. And this is really thick. Like well, it's coming to the point where, you know, if I were to wait a whole lot longer, I might not be able to pour it anymore. But oh, is that delicious? It's delicious. I swear. Okay. Let's go on in and put the gloopiness in there. Meanwhile, I got this cup out and I'm not pouring it. See how it goes. Now, I would be sort of happy if this did not intermingle with that center, because as I just said, glitter moves. I mean, resin moves when it's curing. That's what it does. That's its whole personality. So if this were to touch that, the glitter could potentially travel in there. And these are all things that you are going to learn just by doing projects. There are all kinds of times, as when I was learning, that, you know, I poured a whole thing and then I came back in the room. Like one time I was making these coasters for Christmas years ago. And I did a green, a ring of green glitter. And when I came back in the room, the glitter was just like, it had just like went, woo, we're traveling. And you know, it's the kind of thing I should have known better. I really should have. I mean, I wasn't exactly a newbie, but, you know, I was all caught up in the project and I just wasn't thinking about that part. But it traveled. And having that happen makes me every time go, okay, if this travels, will it be the end of the world? Because sometimes, I'm going to take some out to make, so I can get these pinching. You know, sometimes you have to make a trade and you have to go, okay, if this travels, will this completely ruin everything in this project? You just have to think about it. In this case, I am putting gold leaf in here, but frankly, it's going to be a different color of gold, so I hope it doesn't travel. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to get some of that out of that area, just in case. But I didn't pour. I did this mold one other time, and the first time I did it, I gave it away, so I don't have it in, you know, anymore. But the first time I did it, I poured down the claws and things and let it all just go into, you know, the resin just go into the body. So I know this, if you go to pour that and it goes, and see, there's a little bit of glitter right there. I know for a fact that if I let that, and really, it's not really it is a ledge, but it's what do you call it? It's a sloped edge over here. So that sloped edge is, you know, going to be like a waterfall, and just let it all just go down there. Now, like I said, it's a trade. You have to make up your mind before you do it. Will it be the end of the world if I come back in this room and glitter has traveled its way in there? Sometimes it sounds a little crazy, but oh, I love this glitter. Oh, look at just the smallest amount of sparkle, and it's so pretty. So pretty. You guys have to go to her website. I'm telling you. Being a little messy about this because this stuff is kind of thick now, which I wanted it to be. I'm not complaining. I'm just giving you reasons of why, as I sort of spoon this on with my stick, I'm being messy. And I may, before it totally cures, go in and clean up the edges a little bit. This, I don't think, is going to be terribly hard to pull off any of the overpour, because, you know, it's not going to be very thick. It's going to be a very, very thin overpour if this stuff stays there. So I'm not, you know, I'm not worried. I'm not stressing about it. Because, like I said, this stuff is thick. It's like trying to put honey in a teeny tiny little area. But adding this glitter behind the pearls. So in the next one that I do, it's going to be done in a color. And so you'll see these legs and the, you know, all the things, because there will be something making them a color, you know, making them obvious to the eye. But especially on a Christmas tree, it might not be obvious to somebody just passing by that these are crab legs. Because, you know, if they were just clear, I mean, the pearls certainly are outlining the legs and making them have a, you know, a shape, but, you know, nothing else. So putting this tiny, tiny bit of glitter into the legs is, you know, gonna hopefully make them. Our first layer here is cured, and as you can see, the glitter seeped in. So no biggie, we're gonna solve that by putting a little bit of glitter in our little base there, and it was meant to be. Now I have this gold leaf, and it's, there's some copper, there's some green, there's some other gold, and I have this little tiny thing of gold leaf. This may be actually enough for this project. As a matter of fact, it may be even more than I need for this project. If not, I'll go into my big stash here and pick out the gold, because I just want the gold. I don't want the other colors. So when you use gold leaf, it's so fine. Like it's more fine than even paper. So what I'm gonna do is put a little bit in there, and I have my Promised 1 Hour Fast Cure again, and I'm just gonna start mixing. It's already mixed and ready to use, but when you mix gold leaf in it, it breaks up the gold leaf and spreads it around. So that's what makes it pretty and spread around. Now I think I want a little bit more gold leaf, because we're going to do this entire body in gold leaf, and I'm using a smaller mixing stick because I really want to break it up and not make it quite like glitter, but make it, you know, make it smaller. Let's try another piece there. My stick is sticky, so hopefully, and see, you just put it in there and just start stirring, and it breaks up, because it is literally, it is just so thin and fragile. It's really hard to, when you're doing gold leaf to an object, you know, you kind of pick it up with, I mean, you can, I guess, pick it up with your fingers. If it folds onto itself, you've got a mess on your hands, and, you know, it's not a good thing. But, so see, our crab would be crabbing. I do think I want more. Because I think I want it to be, I want the body to be thicker. You know what, I'm going to use the rest out of here. I don't even know where this came from, this gold leaf. It could have been, you know, an addition with a set, or it could have been, you know, don't even get me trying to guess. There's so much stuff that I have that, and then if I don't have enough, I'll fish around in there and get some out. I love this box of leaf, the different colors, because there have been times that I've, you know, gone and done a sort of special concoction that, you know, it turns out quite pretty with the sort of copper and bronze colors. And so I had a little tiny thing like that, of some silver, but since her colors technically are, she calls them soft silver and gold, it's not, you know, supposed to be like a solid yellowy gold. I don't think. What I have in my brain that a soft gold would be is the same color as this fantasy gold that I use, the glitter. As far as the color of the gold, like I don't, you know, we showed that difference before of a gold and just this gold, like a wow gold, so pretty, you know, so sort of special. So it's sparkly. It certainly is sparkly, but it's the actual color of the gold that we're talking about. Oh, that's pretty. I love. Yes. Look at the, oh, do you see the difference since I added that gold in there? Whoa. Now that's good. That's, yes. Since we have this clear down, even if this were to sink at this point, which it's not, sometimes this leaf stuff is just a little less, no, I should say a little more buoyant than glitter. But even if things sink in this body, we have a clear layer on the front. So it's not like it's, you know, it's not going to be on the front, which is also what I wanted. I wanted some dimension and layers and, you know, all the beautiful things. Aw, I think this looks kind of sweet. I really do. Now the next crab that we're going to do is going to be in a color. So that'll be totally different. Totally, whoops. A piece of leaf there. Wow, that's pretty. It's just so amazing sometimes, you know, what the tiniest bit of sparkle can do to something. It's time to demold this one, and I'm gonna demold, but I'm not gonna look at the other side. I just want you to see me demold because I have so much overpour on this. You see this, all this clear stuff, and I'm not gonna let either of us see the other side because we're gonna get ready to do another crab, and then I'll show both of them at the end of the video together. But I want, like I said, I wanted you to see the demold because there's a lot of overpour on this. And I will also show you. Now, because this is, you know, only been a couple hours, as I told you before, it's not ready to like go use it, you know, as an object or do whatever the purpose is of the piece. But when this fully cures, all of this really thin stuff on the sides will literally just break off like it's nothing. Like it's thinner than potato chips, for instance. And even if it's not, even on areas where it might feel a little thicker, you just take your little clippers and go right up next to it. See? Nothing to it. And it'll... Come on. Shaky hands today. Sorry. Carpal tunnel syndrome. It's a thing. So... But having it this way, I like better because, you know, it's a very nice little surface. And we're moving on to our second crab of the day. I've mixed 2 ounces of Promise 1 Hour Fast Cure again. And this crab is going to be in blues. What I'm doing first is I'm going to separate some out because for the, I guess, flipper, for fins, maybe they're fins. I don't know, or flippers. Anyway, I think they help them swim when they, and the claws. I'm going to do those in this Saya laser blue glitter. And as you can hopefully see, this glimmers, you know, like a royal blue. There's also some green and teal and other things in there, and I really think that's going to add some interest. Now, the other legs here, I'm going to do in a fine glitter, this royal blue. I bought this, it's holographic. I bought I bought a whole set of really, really fine glitter off of Amazon. It's called Leo Bro. Never heard of the brand, but it's glitter, you know. And they go together really, really well. So that's what we're gonna do. And just like that other, the other one that I just did, I want the glitter to be suspended. So I'm gonna just pour some off over here. That should be enough for legs, or excuse me, yeah, claws. And I know, you know, normally people don't shake up their glitter, but since this has everything from chunky to medium to fine to whatever's settled, I want it to, you know, make itself available. Because see in here, see that glitter dust? I mean, that's really fine glitter that we could potentially miss out on if I didn't shake it up. Uh-oh, I closed my glove in the in the bottle. I'm just gonna mix this up. Oh, I don't think I have enough in there, but because I don't want it to be packed with glitter, I just want it just like that, just like the crab. I want it to be scattered about. That's a very technical resin term. Scattered about. Scattered about. And I'm going to let this sit just a little bit while I also mix some of this other glitter. So this gift is for, it's going to be for a co-worker who doesn't really work in my department, but he helped me out, he did a very nice kindness for me and helped me out. So I, you know, there's just sometimes there are people who help you even though it's not really their job, if you know what I mean. And I just wanted to do something nice for him. So I hope that he likes it. So we're from, when I say we, myself and this co-worker, he lives here too. So he lives in Maryland as well. I don't know very much about him. But I don't know if he's from Maryland. I do know because of the lanyard that he wears, he's the fan of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And so he may be from Pennsylvania. I don't know, but he's misguided on football teams. For those of you who might not be from the States or might not follow football, the Baltimore Ravens from Baltimore, Maryland, which is certainly the better of the teams. And the Pittsburgh Steelers from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Pittsburgh's an okay place, you know, like Pittsburgh. It's just that team. Ugh. Anyway, they're rivals. So, you know, the only thing I know, like I said, he wears a lanyard that's Pittsburgh Steelers, but I'm afraid that my room here might combust if I made him anything that was Pittsburgh Steelers. I wouldn't be able to be responsible for any mishaps, you know what I mean? I kid people. Please don't take me seriously. Unless I say, I'm serious. Anyway, I'm gonna let this sit a while because I want it to thicken up. I want both of these to thicken up so they don't sink. This resin, I mixed it a little more vigorously. They say on the website, and literally you can feel it change temperatures, put it that way, right in your hand. Like it doesn't stay cold like other resins because it says that it's 1 hour fast cure. So they say on their website, the sort of more vigorously you mix it, the faster it cures. And I want this, in this instance, to get a little more goopy. I don't want to do the glue thing. I know, there's lots of people obsessed with the glue. Not saying that I haven't done the glue. I've done the glue, in full disclosure. I don't want to do it in this instance. I use the glue trick very sparingly because I've heard that in time it can yellow your resin. It can discolor your pigment in the first place. And I just don't want to fool around with that kind of stuff. So I'm going to let this thicken up just for a few minutes and I'll be back. I've let this sit around for about 10 minutes, I think. And I'm going to just sort of trickle, well, I wonder if I can pour, because doing it with this stick is going to be a little bit messy, I think. And I'm just using this fine glitter because I'm more confident that it will go, you know, all the way up into these legs. Because they're so skinny. Okay, stop, little stream of glitter. And I'm sort of stopping, because I just want to see what this does for a second and see how fast it travels. In this one, I'm sure I could do something to fix it, but I would prefer that it not travel down into the body cavity. If I had my druthers, let me see where my arm is sitting here. See, it's thick the way I want it to be. And this one I let, ooh, I didn't want to go over there. Okay, let's get it out. No biggie. We caught it in time. This, it did, you know, it did thicken up the way we wanted it to. And see here, I let it sit. And it still is pretty suspended pretty well. So, these colors will be so pretty. So I think for the center, for the body, I do want to go for a texture. I I would like to go for a crackle, but first of all, no matter what you're attempting to do, just put it out to the universe and then say, I would like and you might not necessarily get whatever it is you're really going for. However, a texture of any sort, I think, would be just gorgeous in this. Man, I made too much of this. Too much is better than not enough, though. So, put that in your mental file cabinet. And just remember that, we can wish all kinds of things. Doesn't necessarily mean that the resin universe is going to cooperate. But that being said, any kind of texture, I think, in here would be, welcome. The reason, there are times that I'm confident that we're probably going to get something. The reason that I hesitate to guarantee something is because I'm going to have a layer of clear down here in the first place. And I've never really done that before, like a layer of cured clear. So hopefully it'll work. That's why I like this hobby. That's one of the things I like about resin. Like, if we could be all so certain and sure that everything was going to work out exactly, then, what's the fun in that? That demold is always, the uncertainty of the demold is always fun, right? Am I right? I know you're all nodding your heads with me. By the end of this video, I'm going to find out what these back things are called. Oh, yes, I am. So the reason that I'm making this blue is because in Maryland, the crabs that we eat are called blue crabs. They are Maryland blue crabs. When they come out of the water, they're blue. When you cook them, or steam them, really, they turn to that reddish orange color that we all know as steamed crabs. So not knowing what color to make this, I thought, well, why don't we go for a blue crab? So that's why we're doing that. Now, what I'm going to do is kind of tinker around, and you don't have to, stay for this, but every so often, because just like the last one that we did, there's going to come a point when it's not going to move anymore. So if I sort of just tinker around with it a while, first of all, I don't want the glitter to go down in there. Second of all, I do want the glitter to come to the edge. But I don't want to do that yet because I'm afraid it's just going to start a waterfall effect and it's all going to go down in there. So I want to wait a little bit. And as they say, tinker around. Well, as I say, tinker around a little bit. Because what this is going to do as well, this clear, the crab is already slightly, it's flatter than some molds that you see, but I need that to be flat to get the effect later. So filling this in with clear, in this case, is going to give us a surface that if we have a chance of getting an effect, that's what this surface will do. It's time to mix the resin for the center. The rest of the legs and claws are cured. And what I did was I mixed 2 ounces of Bond Crafter 1-to-1 And I need a translucent layer, and the translucent layer, if it crackles, or if there's an effect that happens, the translucent level will be what color shines through. So this other layer will be the mica powder, and that will be, you know, the predominant, I should say, predominant color in the shell, in the crab shell. I think I'm gonna go with that one. I can be somewhat of a klutz, we all know. And I think this will give it a bright blue, which, you know, it's an ornament. It's a gorgeous color. All right, I'm just gonna do one to see what that gets us. See how it even reacts a little bit differently then. Into resin. But their turquoise, to me, doesn't really look turquoise enough. So I wanted it to be actually turquoise. And this stuff squirts out a little bit better than, you know, I have a love-hate relationship with the bottles, with the into resin bottles. So what you do to get, what I did to get the texture or the crackle on those ornaments that I did was I did a clear, now it was a clear layer, but the bottom layer doesn't have to be clear. It just has to be translucent. It can't have a mica in it. So I did a translucent, also known as clear layer. And then I did the mica, and then you just pour it right in the center. And then you do a layer of clear too, and they call that the push because it pushes everything out to the edges of the mold. I'm gonna pour what I'm naming as the center. Or what I've designated as the center, I should say. And then I'm going to go in with our mica layer. And pour that in the center. Then I'm going to pour our clear push. Till I fill up the mold most of the way. And all I can do at this point is hope and pray that that doesn't all flow into the leg. Okay, fingers and claws crossed. I'll see you after the cure. It's bendy, but it's cured. And I went and just pried his little legs up so that I could do the body and the rest with you. So I'm gonna put him here because this was the second one that we did. And I'm dying to see the front of this one. So this is, whoop, I think it goes the other way. So this is the original, this is the first one we did. And I started to trim these and I was like, no, I really wanted it to get, see, once it's completely like 24-hour cured, this stuff usually just breaks right off, or I'll cut it off with my little clippers. But I want to see the front. I want to see the front. You ready? There we go. It's very pretty. I love it. Do y'all like it? See the little glisten of the, let me get something white behind it instead of just my hands. Oh, it's sweet. And I love that, whoa, I got a piece of resin on me. I love that even though this is clear behind here, but, and I mean, you can sort of see through it, but I think putting this glitter, because see, that has that glitter, which one is it? It's Fantasy, it's the Fantasy Gold Glitter by Laura's Art Corner. You can see how there's some such fine glitter in there, as well as the other sizes of glitter, that it gave it a color. So it's not, you know, not plain and see-through. I'm real happy with this. I'm very, very happy with this. Let's see how this one turned out. So this is the back. Remember, we're going for some sort of effect in the middle. Fingers crossed. Yes, we got an effect. We got a crackle. There's the crackle. This is pretty. It's so pretty. I like the blue that was selected. This isn't a fine crackle, but it's a crackle, and it is an effect for sure. If you see the hole in the center, if you pick it up, I like the way this kind of goes from the center and just makes him a pretty little crab. I'm liking this a lot. I hope you do too. So, thank you for your support during this project. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate you watching more than you know. And I hope that this has inspired you to use your creativity and come up with something, you know, gifts for friends and family that that you've made with your own two hands and your creativity. So please like and subscribe. I call liking YouTube etiquette. No matter what I watch, I always do, you know, do the thumbs up. If I liked it, I always do a thumbs up. It's just etiquette. It's just, you know, giving an attaboy. So please like and subscribe, and I will see you the next time. Take care.